Welcome back, everybody, to the losers round semi-finals, actually, of Season 2 Blood Rush League. We've just loaded into our first set of this best of three between Bleedout and Loyalty. So, our home team from Australia up against the American. Oh my, sorry, the game audio is very loud. Let me just configure that really quickly. But yeah, JD, Bleedout's pick of the unknown, and JD's quite a feared unknown, I believe, as we do see last year take the first chase here on, I believe, on the 9 tower, and JD instantly breaking the jungle gym. Still has a UVX tag though, might go for a pod shot. I feel like he won't, so that's very, very close. Unfortunately, it misses, but it would have been a big zoning tool if that hit. So last one 6 and 1. Actually, it's going to be a 2-tap really early into the trial because the teleport just came in time from that. So quite a fast down against the unknown, and you have to see how Loyalty can fight back because this early down really should cause a lot of trouble for them. Early pain res, early hook, early tunnel out, and so on. So it's going to be the first hook of the match. We did see pain resonance get used. One stack did go down, and JD's just hunting for any kind of sign of survivors. We did see a Chloe just reset. So someone has been here, and JD wants to kick the generator with eruption on this one tile. Or potentially leaving back to the hook, places the teleport, maybe just checks track for a little bit, trying to get the line of sight, but doesn't really see anyone just yet. Oh no, does spot out. I believe that might have been Ada here on the 9 tile. Nothing here to work with yet, but they did run away to the bottom side, so maybe he's going to punch on a miss and return back to the hook. Oh, actually return to 1. Trying to pressure this person off the gen. We did see Kate here. Shao actually managing to avoid the UVX as well, so Survivors have kind of managed this pretty well, and I think JD's camp here is going to get... Oh, wow. Okay, they actually got a pull here, and seems like Ray's free pull is going to result in potentially something, but oh, nice body block from Ray to try and deny the power onto Lasfer, and it's going to hit anyway. JD is not even interested at all taking the free tag onto Ray. I find that very strange. You'd usually want to, but Lasfer is going to juke out this UVX shot. That was such a huge shot to miss there, and it's going to be able to make the bottom side of the map here. And if you look at the generator stuff, there really isn't that much of a 3-gen here on the bottom side, so Nia's death spot is going to be really good. Even if they just make it to the corner and don't last much longer, it's still much better than dying in the top side 3 to 4-gen. So it's very nice UVX shot to secure the down and eruption, but now JD kind of has to defend this hook in a very awkward part of the map. So second hook for Lasfer as JD takes the teleport to the top side of the map on the 1 and tries to go for the M1. The ping is going to be paying as Shao takes the M1 and maybe potentially the infection as well. Yeah, JD managing to land that as well, and Shao might be in a position to go down very, very quickly if JD can land this follow-up shot and with the UVX right up. But Shao goes for the 3-dot, but no, the lingering hitbox is going to secure the down, and now JD can actually return to the hook in time, I believe, to potentially interrupt this save because the TP is relatively nearby. So I don't know if our survivors are going to get the pull in time. We do see scratch marks heading towards the hook, so yes, they are trying something, and JD is completely aware of it. Hovers the UVX, shoots perfect time there. In fact, both survivors, we do see Ultra there on the Quentin, use the FTP on Ania, and both of them going to be UVX, but this Blood Favor actually has proc somehow. I'm not entirely sure how. I think it's because of, for all the people, technically you lose a health state, so Nia's going to take the M1 through the window, but since they're instant now, potentially they won't be able to last that much longer. Let's see that upside generator pop though, I believe. And so 3 generators remaining, but Nia's still in a pretty bad situation. Trying to last here, manages to get the drop onto the Power Gym and plays very patiently. JD unfortunately. Oh, okay, never mind. Nia did fortunately second guess herself, and now JD should be able to secure this time pretty early. It is a head-on though from Shao, appearing from nowhere, and JD was kind of aware of some foul play in play, but it's going to secure this kill here on the top side of the map as our Blood Favor pops. So yeah, kill at 2 generators. This one right here should just be regressing from that eruption, I believe. So yeah, JD kind of chilling now. I feel like it should be a potential 4K result because this topside 4-gen looks extremely brutal for our survivors to try and tackle. It's not necessarily like the tightest, but it's still better than having a 4 split. Yeah, oh my god, look at that. 11, 12, 1, and Shaq. That is a nasty triangle of gems for the Survivors attack pool. As we do find out Ada here on the Split Burst popping it just then, and JD takes the infection and completely leaves this. I do like this play. Trying to potentially catch out the reset and see the bird fly off actually on the top side of the map. Unfortunately, the Survivors are going to be found out here, so not going to be able to make that many resources here as we do find Shao. JD goes for the shot and actually does land, so Shao is in pretty big danger of going down here in this top side feed, and they really need to try and make the bottom side of the map, but they're just zoned away from it. Being injured, you can't really last that long, but Shao's going to take that and fake the vault, so it's just going to be another down. Just nothing you can do on the ping, and JD's going to actually decide to slug this. Trying to go to a prediction shot, you know, having the information from Eruption, but Ultra's going to be able to double gear away from this, so JD's going to take this close hook, apply the pain resonance again, I believe. No, hold on, they've already been hooked, right? So not a pain resonance exactly. So now Charles on the death hook, and Ultra's still injured for the people surviving, not going to be able to stop the tunnel out as it did indeed happen. But I think JD is just going to be able to secure a really strong result here. Potentially, they're playing for a little bit more, as you know, this generator here on the bottom side really doesn't have that much progress, and seems like Ada does want to try and get the UVX off, and we'll be able to get a couple of seconds off with that interaction. But Ultra's here for the save now. 2 survivors, both injured here on the top side for Gen. This is only going to spell trouble, as Ultra is the next one to be chased and targeted. There's not really much you can do. Trying to force the lockout, that's a respectable play to allow Kate to get away, but we're still kind of back to square one. Now there's just another pain resonance, hook in the top side region, and JD can pretty much afford to play very aggressive, as Shao kind of needs to be reset, I believe. There's just nothing really you can do unless they're trying to double. You can't really attack this generator setup unless you're healthy. So yeah, JD is just going to go a bit aggressive. Tries to get a shot onto this shallow 6 hill, but unfortunately doesn't tag anybody with UVX. And we'll take this generator with option just before leaving, and try and interrupt to kind of save. And yeah, Shao, I believe that was, sorry, not Shao, I believe that was Ray going for the unhook there, and Ultra does indeed have this second win, so that's going to be a very big resource to save here. We do see Ray there, but that can only mean that like JD knows where everyone is, as Ultra takes the UVX to the back. I think our second win should be waiting on Suba. No, he gets mind gamed. He gets mind gamed, and the second win won't be able to proc. There's going to be one less health state for survivors to work off, and it's going to be a hook as well again in this region, as Ada is going to be chased, but plays very, very patiently on the Paladin, so makes it towards this bottom side bus area. So I think JD should just bunker down and pick up Ultra to secure the hook and potentially go from there, but he's actually playing for the generator again, wants to play the eruption. These Kate is just left, and Ultra gets picked up in the distance, so I guess potentially this play can also snowball as well into a very good result. The generators just don't have enough progress for this, and seems like Kate is just going to be caught here on this jungle gym without a pallet, and tries to go for the vault, but it will not pay off. So it's going to be another kill here at 3 generators, and I don't really know if our survivors can do much in this 3v1, 2v1, there's just not enough pressure everywhere to try and get the generator done. Ultra also getting caught out by the teleport means he just goes down very, very quickly, and JD is just going to be able to, yeah, finish this game up with 3 generators remaining for our survivors to complete. So very well played there from JD. I feel like our survivors kind of handled it well, but I don't know how they just did not manage to get enough generator pressure. I feel like it was definitely possible for them to get a couple of generators done, a couple more generators done. It just, I don't know, it feels like this game here has, oh wait, we actually do see Ray sticking the generator actually, not up. I do like the play, but maybe he's aware of some foul play. Yeah, okay, does spot out Ada trying to finish the generator and finish this game as a pickup kind of occurs. Wait. I don't exactly know what's happening. I think Ray potentially waiting for an M1 with the Wigan. I mean, I don't know what happened. So, yep, still going to be a 4K3. And, yeah, our next set is going to be the Deathslinger, which is on one of our choke point maps that exists. it's going to be on the Aswell's resting place, and Deathslinger sets, you always know it can either go swimmingly or can go to a 4K. So that's Loyalty's pick. Hopefully they can try and take a set back. Oh wait, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, my brain fuzzed out, and I thought this set was over. No, sorry. But JD's 4K3, I believe, is a very, very difficult win condition to try and meet. After this, it's going to be a Deathslinger set, which was Loyalty's pick. So if they do lose a set, they really do need to fight for that Deathslinger set. But considering they picked it, I feel like they are going to have a little bit of an advantage. So that being said, we'll have to set up the next half of this unknown set as we go to a short intermission. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of our first unknown set here. Ultra actually taking the responsibility of the unknown here for Loyalty, who needs to try and meet a 4K3 if it was a tie condition. Manages to spot out Jazz relatively early, but does manage to proc the sprint burst in order to evade the UVX shot. But Jazz, unfortunately, is going to take an M1 tag here from Ultra as the chase continues on this top side. So pretty nicely done from Ultra here. Jazz is actually going to decide to run to the corner of the map. Then maybe a bit scared of not being able to make a better death spot with that early tag. So I think Ultra should be able to secure this down. Jazz is on relatively high ping, and that's a very, very early down as well to start things off. And yeah, I mean, we just need to pop 2 gens to meet the tie condition, but really what I thought last match is that I thought Loyalty would be able to make a good comeback from that start, but Ultra's in a very, very, very similar position, you know. Very similar hook location as well to JD in the previous trial, and even manages to spot out a survivor working this generator here on 9. So I think he's going to take the free regression from the ruin. It is going to be Hart actually, Mr. Team Captain, and he takes the M1 back towards Shaq. Potentially also gets UVX shot here. Ultra, very, very nice shot. Kill that. That was very, very accurate. I think there was pretty much no way for Hearts to avoid that shot in terms of reaction time. So yeah, he's going to be able to secure that as the unhook occurs in the distance. And yeah, I mean, Ultra's ruin here should be putting in good work. Our survivors are a little bit fuzzled with the transfer of pressure, and Ruin's gonna just put in the little bits of work eating away at this 9 generator. No doubt, actually, yeah, no doubt somebody's on the 7 generators. You saw them walk away before, but Ruin's also going to be applying to this as well. So Ultra not even bothering to go for the tunnel out here. Much more concerned about the generators. LV Duck is the next to be chased. Has this kind of god filler outside the 6 deep area, but Ultra's going to just TP away back to the top side, trying to cut off a reset. And it seems like Jazz just somehow has not been able to be reset in this time, so he's going to go down again. And Bleedout kind of need to start popping the generators. I mean, we had 2 generators for sure that had high progress, but you know, even if the other one pops, still need to pop them. Like it's just being high progress is not necessarily popping as LV Dark. Probably going to take the M1 tag here on the bottom side, and yeah, Ruin's still putting in very, very nice work. 9 has not been worked since the start of this trial and since that starting hook. So, oh wait, no, it has been, and the first generator does pop in the distance just as I say that. So, I mean, look, our survivors have like maybe two generators at around 70% progress, so it is definitely doable. Try and play for this win condition. Oh my god, wait, hold on. Just as I say that, this 7 generator does pop, and JD is going to be found here popping this generator on 9, so suddenly Bleedout is just going to take this set, and it's pretty, well, okay, JD's going to do that. But in a pretty like sudden turn of events, I didn't really think those generators had enough progress for that, but Jazz is still going to, I believe, down this hook, as no one's been able to make a rotation. So still a very early kill, I guess. No, not really an early kill for Ultra, but I mean, more like on-time kill for Ultra as he goes back to JD, pick up Pain Res. Still pretty doable situation for Ultra if win condition needed was something like a 4K2, but of course with a 4K3 win condition that's already passed, so Bleedout will just take their set pick. Ultra's Unknown, I believe, is pretty feared. I've definitely seen them play Unknown a couple of times. One of the first showcases of this killer, Ultra was playing him for, I believe, for Team Cynic, and also was playing in one of the BDL seasons. So he's on some really good shots, but it just seems like it's not going to be enough. So Bleedout though, going to be taking the UVX to the back on the screen. Not going to be able to drop the Paladin time. Actually decides not to drop it as the unhook occurs in the distance. Ultra, I guess, is just trying to go for some kind of rebound shot, and Bleedout's not going to be able to make the window in time. So now the slug is going to be coming in as Ultra tries to cut off or just stop this reset on the top side of the map, and trying to look out for the position of our survivors, but we haven't really seen anything yet, so very good stuff for them to be able to pull off this reset. But actually, did see a bird fly, so yeah, someone is going to be around this 9 tower. We did see one of the survivors running towards the top side, and someone running bottom side, so they're still splitting well. But Bleedout is still going to be down here on this kind of middle area of the map, so I believe there is a 3-gen on the top side again. It's, yeah, not really insane. It's going to be like the generator at 2, shack, shallow 12 and 11. Oh yeah, no, okay, that's a pretty workable 3-gen, but not a 4-gen like JD had. So yeah, I would be quite impressed if Bleedout could pop one of these generators. Ultra though, being able to secure 4K2 is going to be an impressive result as well. So actually not going to bother to check the 11 generator. Instead, want to check out what our survivor is doing here by this Philip Allen. It's going to be 6 hearts, sorry, taking this next chase and getting very quickly M2'd by the UVX. He takes a 3-drop and vault onto this window. No life going to be available for him, so it's just going to be another very fast down, and Ultra just wants to teleport back and keep on scaling this pressure here. So Ultra now switching targets to Bleedout. Not really having many resources to work with. This filler is not really safe if you have the weaken on you. So Bleedout though only needs to last a couple more seconds before he is healed, and yeah, the second win just coming in time as I say that. But oh my god, Ultra's rebound on this filler is going to be crazy. That is very nice under effect. He gets another clear shot into Duck, and it is going to be another down for Ultra. Finds the reset, interrupts it, and should be able to secure a 4K2 as long as he does well. But yeah, now with hearts going down like that, JD obviously has to go for the pickup. I think Ultra can secure this 4K2. So yeah, I mean, despite this kind of letdown, I think, from the survivor end in this 3v1, it's still going to be sufficient enough to take away the victory, and JD going to be taking the last chase of the trial. This gets weakened on the shack as Ultra goes for an M1. And I have to say Ultra's net is very weird, but I guess everyone has their own nets, so now JD should just be going down here. Fakes the vault, very nicely done. Should be able to secure a little bit of extra time from this chase as Ultra goes through a little bit of mind games, but JD's actually managed to hold the check spot somehow, even on this pretty horrendous ping. Does get UVX to the back and tries to break off to another tile, but we did see 6 hearts have life, so JD cannot have life, and I feel like because of that, I think it should just be going down. Very nice dodge though. Nice parting to avoid the prediction UVX, and going to secure the 4K2 for Ultra here. So well played to both sides, achieving insane results, except Bleedout's result was better. So yeah, next set's going to be the Death Slinger. I'm not entirely sure who plays it for loyalty, but I'm just going to assume Ultra does, as kind of like both range killers, the Unknown and Death Slinger. And I've done my fair bit of Bleedout scrim on the Death Slinger, and that map is not fun on ping. As well as Resting Place is one of the more brutal maps to play Death Slinger on, but I mean, anything can happen in it. As I was saying, like, it can either be like you can go very nicely, or you can get 4K. So we just do find hearts, I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, trying to call that right. And Ultra's going to be able to secure this obviously now. We'll have to see how Loyalty fights back in this testing set because they're going to be the one to set the win condition on the kill side, which I think is a little bit more of a task because that means that you have to know, do I have to play aggressive for the generators or not if you're playing killer second. So yeah, that's going to be in the fate of Loyalty's hands as we set that next match up for you. Alright, welcome back everybody. It's Mr. Caleb. He does walk with that limp though, as we do see. It's not Ultra's name, that is the last one actually taking the death swinger. As he does find a very, very fast tag onto Heart. I think he's going to be a down here. Bloodfavor is going to be putting in the work as this shot comes through the window. Very, very nicely played there. Going to secure a very, very fast down, as I was just saying. So, yeah, now Hearts is going to be hooked in this 4-gen area. I don't know how the hell survivors are going to deal with this. Is this a 4-gen? I guess, no. I mean, if Hearts died that quickly, surely this bottom side is not going to be a 4-gen as Lastfur. If he does decide to take the basement hook, foregoing the pain resonance on Hearts for later. And hey, we do have a look at the gens. There is indeed a 4-gen top side, not bottom side, as Bloodfavor's already getting cleansed here. Or Ruin, actually. Ruin, maybe? Wait, is it Ruin? Is it Ruin? Oh yeah, okay. Wait, Ruin's already gone, and Bloodfavor is going to be cleansed in around 3 seconds, and Lastfur is actually more concerned about this Bloodfavor totem than they are to hold the cross. They're just really interested in trying to potentially, maybe even just get it down on the stop side instead, as they are kind of angling towards this 10 generator. Sees the bird fly, no one on the hill means that Survivors 3-1 gets a nice, very nice quick scope onto Duck and tries to drag them towards the top side. But wait, hold on, Duck's actually going to be running in this 4-gen area. And oh my god, wait, hold on, this 3-gen is kind of nuts. This Bloodfavor does get removed from the trial. Duck is just going to be going down here, and I guess he's just going to get hooked in this 4-gen area, and that's really trouble for our survivors because they do need to have somebody on this top side to try and stealth for this pull. Otherwise, Lastfur can pretty much just hold the cross for the entire game and just let those bottom side generators go, as it's not really possible to hold them. So I'm going to find a couple of little bit of percentages on this gen, giving it the dry kick with the Redeemer, and just going back to holding this mid-map area of the cross. Doesn't really know where anybody is, and I guess this is the right play to do, but he's gonna have to commit actually if he's doing this for the generator kick. So potentially someone can sneak in from the 2 side of the map, and we did see a bird reset, but I think Lastfur was the one to set it off. So not really any sign of life yet. There's no doubt the bottom generators are going to be worked. So Lastfur is going to be checking a little bit deeper in the map, like a curious animal or just human. Actually, humans. I feel like humans are like one of the more curious creatures that inhabit this planet. But yeah, just curious as to where our survivors are. And does see a bird file. So someone has to be here for the save, but they won't be able to get in time thanks to the cigar. If you do struggle out, you're just not going to have enough time to get the pull if the Death Slinger drags you far enough away. So it's going to be second stage secured for Duck, or onto Duck for Lastfur, as Slider does actually retreat from this middle area. 2 gens popping in the background. It's going to be nice, but I don't know if it's going to be enough because Lastfur is going to be playing for this tag. Does manage to find the generator on the 5 tile, but the pull does come in the distance, and I'm only going to assume that this is the FTP here. If this survivor here is going to be the FTP, it'd be huge, but there is no further people going to be applied, so it might be problems. This really might be problems here for Bleedout, because if LV Duck is found, which, I mean, he's injured, he should be, then our survivors, one of our survivors just has to stealth here. We do find Duck. We really do need a hit tank here. Is someone going to come in time? Duck is just going to be going down, not even on the pallet, and that's going to secure the first kill at 3 generators remaining for Lastfur. Very, very surprising. I would have expected Bleedout to throw a couple more resources in to try and get Duck to the bottom side area of the map, so we can potentially send out survivors to cross. But now Lastfur is just going to be able to hold this area nicely. Even see scratch marks. Oh no, this is just gone really badly. Even finds Jazz. This is 2 survivors on the top side, and Jazz has to retreat back to the bottom side. And Last is going to take the shot as well. It's going to be another down in this 4-gen, and I don't really know if our survivors can do much here because now Last still has information as to where. Number 1, we have one guy on the ground. We have somebody here who's going to be Hearts getting found out again on the shell, and this is just problems team here. As Lasper takes a shot, I think they might be able to make this depending on. Okay, they did not. So good awareness there from Lasper. So doesn't swing, but takes the pallet instead. As Hearts isn't actually chased. See if he can juke out something, but Lasper with the M2 fake, very smart play, just running our shovel down, and that's going to secure this as well. And suddenly JD is the last survivor standing here on the Hazardous resting place. Whoa, but the generator pops just in time on this top side, so Pain Resonance is not going to come in before that happens. So I feel like our survivors here are going to be able to get at least this 4K2. The kill, I think, should definitely be able to 4K2 this, so I don't know if our survivors can pop another generator, but I think if the stealths come through, maybe if this reset comes in, that's just insane if it does, but if the survivors stealth really well, then there's a potential for them to actually do a little bit more. I mean, you know, there's this generator that pops on the top side. I believe it was like the main building generator. So it's still a 3-gen, but it's not as tight as the previous one. As Lasper does find the unhook and goes for a shot, but it's not going to hit. Does find 6 hearts again, but 6 hearts takes it wide. Manages to juke out the Redeemer again, and Lasper has to retreat back, try and find our savior of hearts, and just doesn't find anything. Maybe our survivor just managed to sneak away in time, so he's going to retreat back to this 3-gen topside, and yeah, maybe our survivors can actually do this. Maybe they can pull off this potential 4K1, or maybe even better, maybe they can even pop this 3-gen, which I would say is very difficult, but it's absolutely doable. But no, we find hearts here, and I think no, that's not hearts, it's Jazz. We find Jazz here on this 11th tile. He's gonna get shot and down. That's another Pain Resonance on the board, and yeah, in this 3-gen, I don't think they'll be able to pop this 3-gen anymore with that down coming in. So at least they can potentially play for that bottom side generator, which I would just assume that they're doubling for the time being, and then they're going to split up for a bit, but could definitely be wrong here. Lasper is actually kind of guessing that as well, you know, wanting to check this, and actually does find our stealth. Very, very unfortunate for JD. I don't really know how Lasper managed to deduce that, and even takes the insta quick scope onto JD. Goes to the swing. Oh no, does not go to the swing because wait, yeah, that was interesting. But JD's not going to trade. He's not going to be able to trade. That pig is going to secure the down for Lasper as they go search out for our survivor who's working the generator, but they're not going to be able to make it in time. So 4K1 is going to be the result for Bleedout here, most likely. Lasper managing to cut this down to a 4K1, I think very nicely done, but at the same time, I don't know if that was 4K2, but there was a point in time where they potentially just dropped all the pressure on the bottom side. They saw hearts, took a shot, missed, and then couldn't find anywhere else. Then found Jazz on the top side, which I guess was the real kicker for Team Bleedout. So definitely very well played to both sides there to secure this. And actually, it seems like JD potentially can do something here. I think they are the first rule. So if they can secure Bleedout, maybe that is going to give Bleedout a little bit of an advantage. So Lasper just really does need to find this log, and has no idea exactly where they are. So gonna be checking the edge map now, I would assume. And well, we do actually see JD is just here on this little bit of bush at 11, and I think Lasper is going to be able to intercept this. So should be a clean 4K1 if Lasper's headset is on. And yes, okay, it is going to be a clean 4K. Thank you, the headphones were on. And we'll have to see how Bleedout's killer can do. I believe it would be JD. I think JD plays like every single killer for Bleedout. I don't exactly know how he performs on the Death Slinger, so we have to see how Loyalty performs on the Survive side, whether they can take this best of 3 back. So we'll get that set up for you. We'll be back after a short break. Yo, yo, yo. It is going to be JD here, loading in on the Death Slinger. Back on the Asvos Vesting Places trial, as we have been multiple times this season, but this time JD on the Death Slinger is the one to be getting the job done here for Bleedout. They can potentially take this 2-0 against Loyalty, but the win condition JD needs is a 4K2, as they are playing pretty passive at the moment, holding the cost of this 4-gen setup, and I feel like they might be able to push very, very soon, but does manage to spot out a black clothes survivor. I believe that was Ultra on the truck, trying to rotate, or maybe just playing aggressive, and JD's gonna be able to spot out survivor, but they're gonna pre-dodge just in time. I believe that was Shawl on the Claudette taking this first chase, taking the vault as well, and it looks like a live play coming in, but JD is going to zone them away from the resources. But Shawl plays this pretty patient, even manages to juke out this second shot here. So already 1 minute gone for my Corrupt is the case here, as JD does take the break on the Shack Pallet, most likely, but manages to find the angle through the Corrupt entities things on the generator, and that's going to be a very, very fast tag onto Shawl, and potentially a 2-tap as well. JD's trying to take it, no, that shot misses. I don't know how that missed. So yeah, 90 seconds down now of the Corrupt. So I've had pretty good time to try and rotate for their positions, and I would generally mean try and go for that, but oh my god, JD with that quick scope is going to be able to secure this down in the 4-gen. So oh wait, hold on, they're looking towards mid, and actually this double generator around the mid is going to be a little bit of the punishment for JD for this very, very long chase here at the start. So JD kind of wants to get this this generator with pain resonance, but at the same time doesn't want to let it pop. So he's going to do a little bit of generator camping, strategical camping, as it regresses down to 0. And hopefully Aquaduct can just crawl away from the generator to see if they can pop this. It would be a very, 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 very strong start for survivors if this mid-gen pop. But I think with Nia now taking the tag, I don't know if it will be possible. Ada is ball kind of showing themselves on this 8 area, but JD now kind of sniffing out and trying to understand what they have to do. Actually takes a very, very nice quick scope onto our Ada. Our survivors are kind of throwing in a lot of resources to try and get this generator done, and Ray is potentially the next target here, as they do potentially get a tweet off in time. But no, JD's going to be able to take the shot, and potentially is this going to be the M1? Oh, the coup de grace! The coup de grace manages to secure the down. And that's going to be potentially a pain res on this middle generator in this 4-gen with the choke point. Our survivors need to make a play. They only just reset. Yeah, we did see Nia here, last for playing for this oil truck, as JD actually drags this hook towards the deep 5 area. Still lost sight of Shawl over this past 1.5 minutes, but I think they really did want to. JD should be able to find them. But how much time would it expend, I think, is going through JD's mind. As, oh my god, Shaw's actually managed to call up a very, very good amount of distance here on this 9 side. JD's not really entirely too sure where Shaw is, and we'll be checking around the area now. Complete opposite side for my Nia, and potentially this unhook can come in as Claudette gets found, and we're going to assume gets put on a pain resonance. So I still have pretty good shot at this, I think. They've already popped the generator, and the rotations are alright. I'm going to assume the unhook happens. Oh, the unhook's already happened, right? And yeah, Ultra's just chilling out on that top side, as survivors have to play the top side. Actually, oh wait, on bottom side, we do see Ray running towards the top side. That was the correct play, of course. You want to stay on the opposite side of where the killer has pressure, so JD gonna have to choose whether they want to split their eggs into 2, or which side of the basket they want to place the egg in, i.e. that means like which side they want to commit, as they actually do want to commit this bottom side, not wanting to let this 4-gen pop, which is an understandable play actually. If you can just hold this 4-gen setup, it's just going to be the win for Bleedout, as 4K2 is better than 4K1. Shaw's going to get chased again, and JD's going to take the break of the pallet, zoning to bottom side. I don't know if our corner has many resources left except body blocks as they do try and make it towards this 4 area, but Ultra's here for hit, so very nicely done to secure this. But JD is not interested in taking the free tag on Ultra, tries to get a shot through Ultra, but it's just going to be more time bought for team loyalty as this M1 does occur. Oh, the coup coming in again, clutch coup de grace for JD, going to be able to secure the pickup and another pain resonance, I believe, on this top middle hook, even though okay, it doesn't take it, takes this 4 hook instead, which I'm gonna assume is a pain resonance as well. But oh my god, like coup de grace, I didn't even realize. I completely forgot that this perk was allowed on this killer. So JD just gets 2 really good uses out of them, as they do manage to interrupt this generator at the 8. JD's a little bit paranoid about the save and the generator though, and yeah, kind of shows does not even want to commit a tag, and instead just trying to push our survivor away. As you do, I think we did see a small little head here around the oil truck. Potentially that was just a bird flying off. So oh my god, wait, Nia's generator is very high progress. I think it's going to be able to pop in time for this trade. Ultra going to take the down, and Claudette's the last chase is going to occur, but with this quick shot, it's definitely going to end. And I don't think our survivors actually pop both generators in time, even for this down. I don't know if it's going to be fast. Yeah, both of them pop, right? Both of them pop, unless he makes the pain resonance in time for this bottom generator. But the deja vu 6% is going to mean the generator pops before the pain resonance comes in. So that is going to be a really big deal. If JD pain res that first time on the top mid hook from Claudette, instead of dragging it towards that shallow 4 area, then that would have potentially been able to stop the generators, as I think it would have just bought just enough time. Ultra is going to be unknown though. Position is unknown. Oh, we do hear contents gone, so he's going to get picked up and hooked in this 3 gen. And I think that might just be all that's left in this trial. I don't know, having this deep hook in this 3 gen can just spell the end, I think, as not even raise reset at this point. And looking at the 3 gen as well, it's not the kindest of generators to try and attack on the survivor end. So yeah, I think our survivors can really only they're unhooked, but I was gonna say they can only wait and watch what JD decides to do. But with that unhook coming in, now JD kind of has to return or allow a reset to happen. Ultra's going to be able to keep on surviving for longer on this 5 filler, as JD does go for the break and try and push Ultra. Oh, but Ultra's going to go for the vault. No, that's not the play on pick, unfortunately. Ultra's going to hit the generator, and JD is going to go straight back. Actually, maybe knows that both survivors were working. It sees Nia's aura running away, but this generator really just does not have any pressure whatsoever. So so that's the Ada, right? That's the Ada, my bad. Injured Ada running away. Quentin going down again. I think this is wraps here. So I don't know, it's just very difficult for survivors at this point. JD realistically should be able to play for this basement down, and just whenever they feel like it, just check on this middle generator, make sure it's not being cheaply doubled by survivors, and the plan of option as well to try and get future regression onto it. I mean, it's still definitely high pressure scenario. You don't want to drop this set of the death swing. Definitely not in a position where you're able to tie. But Nia's actually going to be waiting here on the shack and going to be kind of panicking just a little bit potentially. But JD's going to get the shot through the stairs and pull Nia back out of the basement. So I don't know if they have enough time. Cigar's going to be attempted, but not forced. Oh, finding the angle onto this chain break means Nia cannot possibly get the save. And if Ray has rotated in time, there's maybe a chance for our survivors to make a little bit of a comeback. Free swing on the coup de grace though, going to miss as Nia does take the vault, very delayed. And no life coming in, I believe, so it's going to be the down again onto Nia. And we'll have to see whether JD decides to slug here, because that's definitely what I would do. Both survivors being injured, they're not going to have a good time. But, oh wow, they've actually managed to rotate to the middle area of the map already. Ultra here running to the top side. JD's shot here is going to be the make or break. Can they get this shot? Ultra playing very nicely, the pathing working out for him, and it's going to force JD to retreat to the bottom side, potentially catch out our Ada on the reset, but I think our survivors, oh, they're already on the pickup onto Nia, but still, there's a bit of a problem because Ultra is not in the position to get the do anything on the top side, so he has to rotate still as Nia goes down. Definitely Ada's around here, can't leave this area at this point, as there's no reason to. And yeah, going to be another fresh hook for JD, and this nightmare is just going to keep on continuing unless the survivors can change something. So Pain Resonance as well going to be applied. This bottom generator again for the last time this trial, as yeah, survivors just should not realistically be able to do anything here, I think. I mean, oh man, like track 4 and bot mid, especially with like bot mid being open, like that open to a lot of shots, is just such a big deal for us survivors. JD actually following the marks of our Ada does manage to bait out a very nice zone, and M2 Fake's gonna work out. Potentially Shower does have, sorry, not Shower, they does have balance. No, they don't not have balance, and they, oh, they're taking nice pathing though to avoid this shot, but JD's gonna M2 Fake again, and I believe force it down as they're not gonna make the window in this position. So it's gonna be up to whether survivors can double this middle generator in time. I don't think they had enough time to, but definitely Ray's chase was fairly long. And yeah, they did actually get a good amount of progress on the generator, but not really enough to leave it in contention. So they're just gonna try and force the basement. JD probably not going to be happy taking it. Yeah, wants to drag it towards this top middle area, or potentially no, going for the spy hook. And wow, that's surprising. Personally, I would have just hooked on top of the generator and camped it out, as our survivors are running out of hook stages to give. Like, only Ultra has a hook at this point, and he's going to get found as well. It's going to be a quick down, I believe. They don't have any resources to work with anymore. And coup de grace coming in. Nia has to go for the save. I think it is going to be here where our survivors are going to collapse. So, very hard fought from Loyalty, but I think it's just going to end up in a tie. Lastra gonna get quick scoped as well, and the coup de grace gonna come in again to secure it down. It didn't, I believe it was coup de grace anyway. So yeah, Nia though, gonna get hooked again, and since Quentin isn't fresh hook, he'll be not even a big deal. So gonna be 4K1 back to back on this Destiny set. Nice for Loyalty to manage to pressure JD throughout this entire trial, but really is going to go to the tiebreaker pig, and if the result is not Bleedout winning that, then it will be back to the Deathslinger. So Caleb Quinn will walk the Azor's resting place once more if that's the case. But I guess yeah, we're gonna get that pig match set up for you. That's gonna be on Midwich. Very fun stuff. If of course we're not playing as the survivors or killer. So yeah, we'll get a match set up for you. It's going to be cracking to see whether Loyalty can finish up, or Bleedout can finish up this best of 3, or if Loyalty can stay strong and try and fight back. So yeah, that's going to be after, of course, a short intermission. Okay, welcome back everybody to our tiebreaker set of the pig. Now, last trial we did see JD manage to achieve a 4K1 on the Deathslinger, matching Ultra's result. So now we're back into the tiebreaker. JD now trying to set the win condition for Bleedout here in the semi-finals to lose his bracket. So a bit of a start here. Corrupt is going to be already ticking down past that quarter-way mark, as JD actually decides to commit a survivor here on the top side. Does uncrouch, so I believe they are going to decide to potentially chase this. Yes, we do find, I believe that was Kate taking the chase, and JD's actually going to go for an insta dash, taking the last pixel hit onto Kate. That was pretty early on, and Bloodfade is now going to be active, meaning that this 11 pallet is not going to be available for Shower to use. So halfway through the Corrupt, and this down seems to be coming extremely quickly as Kate does decide to run to this library area. I don't think you can last this, especially on ping. It's going to be very difficult. JD even swinging through the pallet because of that, so it's going to secure a pretty early down here, a very early trap as well for Bleedout. So this first hook probably going to occur, but this is potentially where the pain resonance might be a bit of an issue since the hooks that are spawned on this map, the pain resonances are very random, so you might not be able to make it to one in time, but it seems like JD has managed to find one that's going to tick onto Ultra's generator, setting that back by 20%, as JD still continues to look for the next chase, potentially even trying to go for the generator. Oh my god, wait, the generators on this map are looking pretty decent for JD. They go for an insta drop and a very fast dash to try and get a tag, but will not be able to find one. Instead decides to break the Macca's drive through breakable wall instead, while trying to look for the survivor who is definitely here. It is going to be last for taking the chase, probably going to end up in a tag. No very valuable resources around except this pallet, which they will not be able to make, and the blood favor is going to make him lose distance, so I don't even know if he's going to make it towards another pallet in time. It seems like, oh, Lasfer does actually try the jiggy. It's not going to work out. The first generator though popping in the distance at least for Team Loyalty here, so another head trap for JD to apply, and no doubt Shawl is now going to be feeling pressure, as we do actually see a survivor trying to pressure this bottom side generator, but the hook's going to come in time, and the pain resonance as well, so very nicely timed pain resonance for JD twice really to try and stop that gen from popping, as Shawl actually does manage to get off that head trap very quickly, so now potentially JD's pressure is not going to be that high, as we do find Ultra here on the dual God Pallet setup. They are going to be trying to play this setup as nicely as possible. Oh my god, grabbed the stun onto JD, and JD is actually going to decide to leave this. Can't even play for the tag anymore after that stun, and it's just going to go back to hook, maybe catch a rotation onto this, but nobody is here it seems. Ace is just going to be hanging here by himself, and I can no doubt say that the other survivors are sitting generators very patiently as JD decides to go ambush again, potentially look for a survivor here on the top side of the map. But it seems like, yeah, JD's just completely happy to head straight back to hook. Even tries to body block Ace here. Lasfer goes for the swing, but it's not going to work out, as it's not going to be able to body block in time. And since our Ace did not technically lose a health state, the blood favor also doesn't activate there, so that's just going to be more time for our survivors bought, as Shao is going to be the next to be chased off this bottom side generator. Does take the nice pre-drop on the pallet and does decide to run past, but going to end up in an ambush dash and probably a very fast down yet again, as they kind of run out of resources. Actually, Shao deciding to run to this this house area, but both pallets are blocked. Oh, only one pallet is blocked up by the blood favor. Shao is going to be able to make it around. Takes the greed, gets the stun as well, and is going to lock JD in this house. And yeah, that's so much time now bought for the side of Loyalty. Look at how much distance Shao made. Pretty much managed to play that house and make it all the way back to this top side with no consequence, just with that one stun. But also going to be able to make the window vault. Oh yeah, JD. Potentially this. Oh my gosh, yeah, another donate pops at this point. JD is potentially going to have to fight for another hook stage than I originally expected, as Shao gets downed again. Now they're actually on death hook. Ace is still not managed to get the trap off, as I guess they just haven't been lucky enough. So JD gonna be pretty content here with this death hook now being secured, and couldn't even be just checking the generators now. Not even deciding to crouch. That's going to be, I believe that was the blood favor gone here on this edge map of 1, and Splash Mark's going to be running away from this area. But now JD is, yeah, kind of like running a little bit low on pressure, I believe. Now with blood favor gone, the chases should theoretically be longer. But oh, we've spotted a few scratch marks here on this corridor. Someone is going to be around this 7 area. It is Ultra actually playing for this generator, and no doubt someone is here for the pull. Absolutely perfect timing here from Team Loyalty to get that. So now potentially it's going to be Shao's last chase, but it seems like Ray is going to be standing in front trying to body block it. I don't really think JD needed to try and overtake the body block, as JD still continues chasing Kate. Has a lot of distance though, and Ada's just going to get down, unfortunately missing that fast fall. It's going to end in their demise. And another head trap and pain resonance most likely on this bottom side. But the question kind of remains, does this generator on up 9 pop in time? I believe it's up 9. Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm getting that proper. I guess it does not pop in time. It was very, very close. You saw the pain resonance little bit of smoke pop out of that. So it's going to be three very nicely timed pain reses for JD as they go crouching, trying to flank our survivors, but I don't think they're going to be caught off guard by this yet. They have actually pre-left the generator as the pull comes in the distance. So our survivors just playing really confidently. Spots out Ultra as well, I believe. And no, it's not going to be Ultra, it's going to be our injured Ace. And yeah, just deciding to chase this. Hopefully Ace does decide to run in this area, since this is the area that has absolutely no generators whatsoever, but I think they're just going to be going down. Have kind of run out of resources, kind of wants to loop back to this top side, and I don't think they're going to be able to do anything amazing. So it's going to be another down and another death hook for JD as this hook does come in. And yeah, look at this generator setup. It is pretty tight, I would say, for a mid-witch map, and we do actually find the double here. Unfortunately, not going to be able to pop the generator in time. So yeah, JD's position here with this 3-gen still being left up and the hook inside seems to be quite favorable, I guess, as of right now. And Ultra's potentially just going to give away this free hit. And oh, interesting parting there, but and I give the free hit and run away to this top side. I think, hold on, yeah, I'm getting my clock mixed up, sorry. I believe this is the bottom side, so yeah, and these 3-gens here, they're relatively accessible for JD, with this upstairs being broken by default nowadays. It can kind of traverse the map a little bit easier. Yeah, we do find, I believe there's a little bit of, yes, a little bit of sparks coming off the generator. Someone was pre-leaving, and it's going to be around the 75% mark, so I believe that's shallow on the generator. Running for their last chase on this top side of the map, but JD's opting to leave this. Kind of understanding our survivor has way too much distance, so going to rotate through the courtyard back to the bottom side, and potentially our survivors do manage to pop the generator in this scenario, but JD's going for a little bit of a flank again, but it seems like our survivors are completely on top of it. I don't really know exactly how Kate knew to check, oh, is this Kate? I mean, probably Kate knew how to check that angle, but they're going to be taking the last chase, unsuccessful with getting that head trap off, and going to just be looping the library now. This is very unsafe, but oh, the 3-gen pops though in the distance, and this might be problems for JD because the other generator on the 9 side was extremely high progress, so if our survivors were working it, we would pop just very soon, but JD is going to have to rush back to that generator to see if it does, because it's I guess the only thing that he has left, or the survivors have left to pop, and taking the little bit of crouch, trying to fool our survivors, but they've actually decided potentially to leave this generator. Yes, they haven't been able to fully complete it as of now, thanks to Ruin. And Ace, not Ace, Ultra, who has not been hooked yet, should be able to give JD the pain resonance. If they do decide to loop this 6-up area, takes the dash, and Ultra unfortunately going to get hit through the pallet. That must have looked awful on his screen, but that was such good reactions from Ultra, or potentially just reading what JD would do there. So just gonna take the pain resonance again, and I guess, oh, not pain resonance, wait a minute. I guess, yeah, there's the drawback to the pain resonance, is sometimes you just don't get the hooks for it, and I guess JD didn't, otherwise that pain resonance was of course the obvious play. So JD's gonna be rotating to the east-west side of the map to try and find if anyone's working on this 3 generator, but no, it seems like nobody is, and he's going to be heading back to the hook, trying to defend this 3-gen with all the resources he has. But really, with the ruin style, I think there's a good... Oh, and we have a disconnect, okay. So I don't exactly know what happened on the survivor's end, but I think that's going to just secure a 4K for JD, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't see how I can pop generators in time, especially since that unhook comes in. Realistically, we should be able to get this down fast enough so a generator doesn't pop. But Ava here gonna have to play this 3 area. This pallet's already dropped, it's next to a god window, but JD's gonna be playing this dash and just barely manages to miss it, so Ada's might be able to take a window, does not actually decide to, and will decide instead to loop the pallet, and the pallet break comes in as I believe there's a flashbang being dropped Oh, Ada actually managing to make it to the other pallet, and JD recognizing this, gonna leave. Even the pre-drop coming in from Ada, but absolutely the play. Ultra's obviously gonna be sitting this generator here, and yeah, now Ultra's the one being chased, and JD can afford kind of back and forth with our survivors. I believe this pallet on the edge 11 was already dropped, so I think Ultra here doesn't really have much to work with. The ping again going to come to his demise, allowing that down to come in. And JD now actually going to head back, potentially get the pain resonance on Ultra. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought he would do, but a little bit of delay there on the side of JD, so be checking up the Bleedout comms to confirm that play. But I think with this pain resonance on this bot side, bot side, I think it should just wrap things up. I don't think I can possibly pop this generator in time. So yeah, very unfortunate that last bird disconnected, but there's definitely potential to get at, especially with how JD, or how long the chases were taking for JD. Even Ultra's down there did take quite a while. I had to wrap around a couple of times. Ada also had to leave that chase as well. And Ultra's just gonna give up on the hook and try and get, I guess, give a chance for Ada to get out of the hatch. But she's gonna get found here in the chemistry room. Might be a 2-tap. Ray's gonna take the pre-drop of the pallet and make it towards this 11 side. Oh no, actually just deciding to play the pallet. And JD now with the 50s, I think he's just gonna eventually win one and end this trial. So yeah, 4k1 for JD. Potentially Ada can get hatched, but I think they're just running out of any good resources to use, as the overvolt's going to come through and the down going to be secured. So you actually do hear the hatch in the background, so imagine if Ada did in fact have the pallet at 11 up. There was a potential for actually them to get out of the trial. So yeah, still 4k1 though for JD. Pretty impressive stuff for both sides, as it is on ping. So we have to see how Bleedout does after a short intermission. Okay, welcome back everybody to the second half of this pig set now. Ultra again going to be taking Loyalty's killer on the pig, and is not even actually deciding to crash at all, so I find that interesting, as on Midwich, as it's an indoor map, you can kind of get away with crashing a lot more, but Ultra though, going to just be playing 115 pig instead for the time being, as we actually haven't decided to bring Corrupt at all. And instead, our survivor is going to potentially give a fast tag here. Hearts is not going to be... No. That was a criminal stun. That was crazy. You know, Ultra's ping, I believe, is really high. I remember seeing them playing, and every single hit they got on Killer was, like, extremely bad. But that not hitting is incredible. So as Hearts take the first tag here, it's going to proc the Blood Favor. And now we do see the upside to Ultra's build. Look at how many hexes we have here. Oh, but Hearts is going to be able to make it past that 32, I believe 32 meter mark, and drop this pallet here on the bottom 11, and Ultra's just going to leave, not even deciding to crouch to hide their position or turn radius. And yeah, pretty decent stuff for our survivors, I'd say. We're already nearly a minute and a half into our trial, but okay. Caster's curse, it happens early on, I know. So JD's just going to give away an unfortunate free tag here on the bathroom area. You know, I just guess he didn't expect Ultra to be holding that position. So JD though, oh my god, okay, hold on. Ultra's just lost 2 totems, and JD's, I think, gonna get down here, won't be able to lock a juke or anything as well. So finally we get our first down, and it feels a bit longer than our previous trial, but at the same time our survivors did have to get through 2 hexes. And actually, if I look here, I believe one of those hexes was actually the Face the Darkness, which must have just appeared when Hearts got tagged for the first time. And that's a really big deal for Face the Darkness to be gone, I believe, because Face the Darkness does give you a pretty good amount of information, especially on a killer which might lack a turn radius such as the pig. But Hearts is going to be standing still, not really being aware of where our killer Ultra is, and it's going to be getting 2 taps. So that's going to now spell a bit of disaster for Bleedout. That was, yeah, I don't really know what to say, but Ultra now deciding to head back to the hook, potentially try and secure this. Actually didn't even decide to trap Hearts' head either, instead prioritizing the rotation back to the hook, and it seems like our survivors are pretty happy to let this hang as Hearts gets picked up in the distance. I think they do need to let this happen, but oh, Jazz is going to be here though. Trying to get the angle and does manage to do so, gets the pull as well. And now JD's also going to be able to slip through just like butter and make it towards this downstairs area of, I believe, the 11 side, no, 5 side, and has this infirmary pallet as well. That's going to be broken very quickly for Ultra. And yeah, the chase continues onto our tunnel, but Jazz also needs to be picked up, and the generators need to be progressed in this time, as yeah, you don't get anywhere with long chases without 10 progress. JD though, I don't know if he has enough distance to make this. And Ultra are going to be predicting the pre-drop, which is going to be correct here, and it's going to work out in the down. But Hearts are going to get found again for this pallet save. Blood Favor really is getting in such good. Sorry, that's not pallet save. I don't know exactly what Hearts was doing there again, but I'm just going to give away another free tag, and JD is just going to be put on this hook again. Without a generator popping here, I think potentially our survivors could be in a little bit of trouble to get towards this 4K1 tie condition, as you know, the hook lasts for 70 seconds, and if you sit like 2 generators for 70 seconds, it gets nearly done. So with that perspective, like with no like gen altering perks, like gen speed altering perks, and with that reset also coming in, really like the gens can't have like any higher progress than like 50 to 70%, and they're only going to be able to pop around 2 generators for JD's eventual death on the hook. So JD now just approaching that end, that sacrifice phase, as Ultra still happy to just power around, check out where our survivors are, but I think our survivors are just going to be sitting the generators, as Ultra does want to secure this. So we do spot out a little man called David King, LV Duck, going to be coming into this trial to try and get the save. But is he in time though? Ultra is trying to hold this, and JD is sorry. LV Duck's going to be able to find the angle yet again, but JD is going to down the hook. Okay. That is very, very bad. Okay, well, without another generator popping, still at 4 gens, the death coming in. This looks like Vaps very, very, very formally. Yeah, okay, well, you have to play this out still as Bleedout, but still this generator is taking so long to pop. I don't really know. I don't know. 4K1's entirely doable here for Bleedout. So anyway, the gen finally popped, as I say that, and we do find a pre-leaf. 2 generators actually popping for this. So I guess Jazz must have just 99 a generator in the background as Hearts does. Oh, I was gonna say takes the hook, but Hearts is gonna finally win the 50 and grab the stun on this house. So it's just gonna be such a nice reprieve and a bit of a relief for our survivors, you know, not having to deal with that pressure. But still, they need to pop another generator here. LV Duck only has around 110 seconds left on the hook, slightly over 2 minutes, but Ultra is no doubt going to rotate away from this hook eventually to try and pressure the generators. So I do respect the play here for Bleedout in a way, like giving Ultra a bit of a false sense of security with the generator count, but at the same time, they still need to get the percentages in, and at the end of the day, they've only kind of like delayed the problem of how do I get the generators done in this time, as LV Duck hits the 2nd stage, and seems like Ultra is going to rotate away, trying to hold this generator and the hook at the same time, and it seems like he's going to go commit for the tag onto Jazz, as I mean that's the play that's happening. So LV Duck's going to be unhooked in the background. I'll be pretty surprised if Duck tries to get the trap off. I think I would definitely try and prioritize the generators in this situation, but Jazz is actually going to try and win these vaults. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to outrun the triple vault, as that does come through, and the final few head traps does come through. Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if Duck does go for the head trap here, because I feel like the amount of time that you wasted is it's more important to go for the generators or like do something like fetch the hook. But at the same time, maybe Ultra could then slow down the game and like play for tags and so on, and then Duck would have to get it off anyway, or risk a 2v1. So yeah, Jazz are gonna get hooked still, and you've yet to see really that much progress on the generators from Bleedout. Kind of a bit of a nice 3-gen on this top side of 6 here. It's like, oh okay, it's alright, it's not like too bad, but we do see the unhook come in anyway, and it's going to be able to potentially secure a better death spot for our next survivor. But Hearts is actually going to be the one playing this filler. I really don't know if this is again ideal. You're kind of just trading one hook state for another, and you also give away a free head trap and an injury. So I really hope LV Duck is just managing to work a generator in this time, and maybe Bleedout can get... No. Okay, he is not working the generator. That means that Bleedout really is in trouble. They don't have enough pressure, I think, to try and fight this 4k1. LV Duck only like a couple of seconds, I'd say, or maybe even like, I don't know, maybe even less away from death, and he's not really going to be able to do that much else. But he manages to get the trap off just very, very late into the head trap timing, but he's going to get found, and I think with his last chase with our death hook, I think going to revamps. But oh, he grabs a stun though, but LV Duck is still zoned here on this 6 upstairs pallet, and Ultra knows it, goes for the break and tries playing this out, but of course you cannot make it anywhere on the mid, which in that scenario. So going to be the second death of the trial here. 2 generators left. I don't think it's possible for Bleedout to go for another generator, so really if they did that would just amaze me. But I think that might really wrap things up here in this tiebreaker set. Loyalty managing to fight back for this third set, as they were down, so they really did need to win a set. They did try on the Deathslinger, but unfortunately Last Fur did not manage to get a winning result. It was a 4k1, and then JD managed to get a 4k1 to mirror that. So I mean, I'll be shell-shocked if Loyalty does not lose the set if they tie this. But I'll be shell-shocked if Loyalty, yeah, it doesn't tie things up at 1-1. So yeah, look, 1-1 going back into the Deathslinger. Potentially we'll see a couple of build changes, but right as of now, survivors are not starting to do anything. Just playing very patient, potentially getting the head traps off and trying to rotate before making any play. But Jazz is giving a fan out here on this window, and Ultra is going to play check spots and takes a pre-vault on the window, but it's not going to pay off for Ultra. Jazz going to be able to pre-drop this pallet. Nothing God pallet worthy to play, but I think he's going to go down pretty soon. Depending if he vaults, he did vault and did try and fake it again, but should be going down just as of now. So Hearts, the only survivor standing. We have to wonder what he's doing in this time, but I really don't think he's going to be able to get a gen done. So that's all that matters at this point. So yeah, Ultra's just going to check the generators. Obviously the one close by to Jazz is not going to be worked, and we don't hear anything around the bathroom, so logical deduction is to just check this 11 down area, and if there's no one here, then you can just pick up. So maybe Hearts is actually playing for the hatch. There's no progress here either, and Hearts just must be stealthing, I guess, for this hatch, which does make some sense. I believe if he did escape from hatch, that would be an additional 6 points to change the difference for the teams. But really, yeah, Ultra just really needs to try and find this. But I believe Jazz isn't even Death Hook at this point, so you can just hook and go look if worst comes to worst. So we're going to be checking sound for the Shovel Mason, but still finding nothing here on this bottom side. Just check around here. No scratchies, I believe those were not scratchies, and turns back to Jazz. Eventually he's pulled away just a little bit. Seems like we can't hear him from spectator POV, so it might be a tenacity play coming into effect, but really I I don't know what the survivors really are planning to do. Like, maybe they can trauma tech this. There's actually a chance that Jazz could trauma tech, but at the same time, the hatch isn't in a guaranteed location, so Hearts would not be able to 100% of the time escape. So, yeah, I mean, that's really the only play left. I don't think Hearts knows that picks up Jazz is just gonna continue this cycle until they all died, and so he's just stealthing for, well, potential trauma tech or just a bleed out for hatch. So we'll just have to see what happens as Ultra just keeps on looking around the map, I guess. And I go get some water because my throat is a little bit dry. Just having a look. Just having a bit of a gander across the map. Wandering around. Oh, actually. Okay, Hearts, okay. Stealthing near the pickup. I believe that was the 10 down room that they were stealthing on, so Ultra is going to be rotating there very soon. Yeah, even checking around the library and going to go downstairs now. This 10 room is, I think, on this path to check, but no, Ultra's going to double back on himself and go back on to the 3 side of the map. So yeah, it's just still cat and mouse, and Hearts is just going to be able to stealth out still, maybe even just for this bleed out to Jazz. So we'll have to see if that happens. There's that bleed out doesn't really matter, but the fact that Hearts can escape through hatch will. So yep, the bleed out occurs, and now it's just a race to the hatch. There's no way Hearts can possibly do anything else here, but I believe Ultra has the upper hand here. Hearts was just around this area, and we haven't seen scratch marks, so you can only be walking around this point, and so Ultra can definitely cover more ground. Just up to, does the killer or the survivor guess right first? Ultra's going to be checking this room here. Heart's probably going to be on the other side of the map. Actually runs into them. That was so unfortunate. Oh my god, the hatch was just meters away from Hearts, and that's going to be the win for Team Loyalty. So yeah, Hearts just not being able to escape there. That was the last play that did not work out. So yeah, we're gonna send this to the tiebreaker, well, the middle set, which is now the second tiebreaker set of the Deathslinger, and we'll have to see how that pans out. As yeah, it's do or die time for both teams in this semi-final bracket. So okay, everybody, a little bit of misinformation spread from your caster here. It was indeed a tie. So the Bleedout did lose Loyalty 2 points, but that 2 points was regenerated, if you get the joke, by that 4K1 extra pop of the gen. So Ultra, though, going to be still trying to get another set point for Loyalty, as if this were to be won by them, then it'll go again in, or actually tied, then it'll go into the tiebreaker, as actually Doc is going to be the first one to be chased, trying to make it to the top side, does manage to get out of the 4-gen corrupt, and does nearly take the tag, actually managing to GG to the edge. So very nicely done by Doc to delay this first tag, but since it was an M1, there really might be a 2-tap coming up, but at least it was not the cigar chain break. I don't know how the hell Ultra got blinded by that, but Doc's gonna be taking this edge map of 1, trying to make it towards this 2, but I don't think he does. It's just got slightly not enough distance, but the pre-dodge on the Redeemer shot gonna bring it back into this chase. Gonna play this pallet very patiently, probably head up towards the death spot. That's very nicely done by Doc, but Ultra still not being able to secure this down. Just got so much time being bought. We did see the blood favor get cleansed in the background, and the crops are nearly 90 seconds down and ticking. So with this pre-drop, I think Doc is going to get down low. Can't really get out of this scenario, and yeah, very good first chase for Doc, for Bleedout. Doc managing to last quite a good amount of time and also die in the less populated generator area. So now it's up to Ultra to see what they want to do here. The only 3 generators on this top side of the Aswell's resting place. So you can pretty much secure a 4k1 by camping this out. That is, of course, if no one is already past the choke point, but someone might already be here, so we don't know on the survivor end. So Ultra's actually going to be rotating back towards this middle area, potentially looking at the bottom side, but no, decides to retreat back to the safety of this 3-gen because they don't really know where anybody is at the moment except Duck. They know that Duck's on this top side. They know that 2 survivors are definitely bottom side, at the minimum anyway. So I'm going to be just heading around, checking around to see if they can find the survivor who, in theory, might be stealthing for the bull, but no sign from them just yet. Doesn't even decide to check the edge of 1, so Seth looks inside main, doesn't see anyone yet again, and survivors just have ample time here to work on those bottom side generators to destroy that setup. And yeah, I think that's just going to be the case as Doc at second stage. They don't really want to commit any resources. They don't want to try and get like a hook and a slug in this top side, as that's how things can really go wrong here. So Ultra is now going to be rotating to the bottom side. I guess the reasoning was if there's an early pull, then you can return in time and the second stage just come in. But the pull comes just as I say that, but there's no FTP going to be in play, so that is going to be a little bit of problems on the team department of Duck's chase time. But on the other hand, our survivors still have ample time to get this generator setup done, and that's going to be a miss onto, I believe that was Duck, injured. I think they were leaving blood. No, JD's here as well, trying to take the aggro away from Duck and trying to make them get towards the bottom side if possible, but he's going to take an M1. That's very surprising to me. And Ultra's going to go for pot shot and miss onto JD. Maybe trying to secure a slug and an injury here, but yeah, I mean, still a bit of problems here as Duck is being chased. I mean, 2gens probably in the background. That's really nice for survivors, but what would be even nicer is if they could also pop one of these topside generators, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Duck is slowly getting, like, the distance is slowly getting closer, and Ultra is going to capitalize on this main building vault. It's the only play the Duck could make, but not being able to duke it out means this down will occur. And the death as well going to happen just at 2 generators remaining. So pretty average death time, I think, on the survivor end. But the gen split is quite favorable for them, I believe. This topside 3-gen really isn't that strong if you look at things. But it seems like Ultra is going to be able to find the next chase very quickly. Maybe Jazz a bit caught out of position on this 10 side. Maybe not expecting Ultra to check this area, as Ultra goes for another very ambitious shot, trying to hit the survivor hit rock over this rock, and will unfortunately concede and break the pallet here as Jazz no doubt gives away an M1 tag, and going to be running up the deep side of the Aswell's resting place main building, and it's going to get shot. That was just, yeah, unfortunate. Can't last that much longer, and I'm going to just assume that our survivor side can only get a 4k1 from this position, as this hook really is going to make things extremely difficult for them. So Jazz giving away the pain resonance, and with this hook in the top side, our survivors have to play pretty much picture perfect if they want to try and get that final generator done. But we do see a little bit of hope. There's a bit of pressure on this generator on 2, so somebody is around here. Some cheeky little survivor is on this top side trying to make a play, and Ultra is completely aware of this and is going to be looking around for them. Does not want to really give away the save for free though, so still proxying the hook just in case the save does happen. They can go for a shot onto Jazz thanks to the open hook, and yeah, just still checking for signs of life, and unfortunately Investigator Ultra is just not going to find any. So instead rotates to this 10 side, and again doesn't really find anything of interest, so he's going to head back just as the pull occurs. Perfect timing for Bleedout, and it's going to be actually JD this time popping that bottom side generator. I really do hope that our survivors can take the chase towards the bottom side of the map now. I'd really like to see a potential body block coming in, but now it seems like Ultra though is going to be forced to play this. I guess, I mean, the body block coming in, maybe that was a bad idea if I think about it, as Now if you had 3 injured survivors, then Ultra can afford to try and pressure the bottom side. But now with 1 healthy survivor, that healthy survivor might be able to slip into the top side, and we do see that's the case. We do see scratch marks towards this top side of the map, and you can only hope that this chase... Oh, no, okay, there's going to be blood. So, Ultra now going to take this chase onto Hearts, and Hearts going to try and last here. Takes a nice pre-drop and completely aware of the open window. And Ultra, unfortunately, does not hit that shot. So, it's going to be more time ball for survivors. And what happens? Oh my god, what is that ping from Ultra? That's what I was saying, like that first tag and first downward toss really should have happened sooner on that ping match. But yeah, now we're still back into the previous situation, but we know where both survivors are, and this drag as well onto the top side hook. I don't know if our Bleedout survivors can do anything but watch this nightmare hold. So we'll see yet another pain resonance on the top side, and hopefully Hearts can last in the next chase, as this gen setup, although being a little bit loose, you could say, is still a 3-gen on this top side. They just had not been able to pressure the generators. So yeah, Ultra's still hunting for blood. Not going to be able to find anything around this bottleneck. Oh, just as I say that, JD does. Oh my god! What a dodge from JD, managing to save the. Okay, I assume Jazz is also around here. There's no way that Jazz is not rotating if JD's playing this aggressive. It's like logical play. But yeah, now with those 2 shots missing onto JD, now survivors have managed to infiltrate the bottleneck and make it towards this top side. Now Ultra is concerned about the save, and rightly so. You know, somebody is around here. Jazz on the near Carlson is somewhere here, somewhere around this hook, just waiting for Ultra to slip up, maybe overcommit to JD's generator on 10 before going in for the pull, which is on their mind, but Ultra is going to be happy to count this out until second, just before they do anything too concrete. So that second hook's going to come in, and Ultra is going to try and get the pressure going onto our survivors, forcing their hand, you know, like, well, do you want to know what the generator? If you do, I'll try and get a botch on you, and otherwise, I'm just going to stay on the hook. There's nothing telling me that I should leave. It's not a game where I need to go and pressure JD off the generator, which is definitely on not that hype of a progress, but now with the unhook coming in, maybe the progress is actually looking pretty good. Jazz, I don't know why you're going in for body block hit, but I guess that was indeed the reason why I'm trying to take a hit to the shell, and I think it's just going to be the death. Nothing you can do there on the side of the survivors. So yeah, now there's death happening. Maybe our survivors can potentially double the generator in time, but I really don't think that they have had enough time to do so. So second death of the trial going to be happening as the survivors do their best to try and double the generator. They are committing it, so it's going to be close. That is going to be the final generator completed for Bleedout, and that's how you do it, everybody. That is how you secure a 4K0 against the Deathslinger. That is just very, very well played from Bleedout. JD's generator just had enough progress to allow that to happen. And yeah, maybe there was some kind of generator perk from JD, maybe like Deja Vu in effect. But yeah, very, very nicely done securing this 4K0. It's going to make JD's job on the killer so much easier, as getting a 4K1 result is way easier than a 4K2. So yeah, very, very well played to Bleedout. Very unfortunate for loyalty, but it's still a 4K0, so they could definitely play for Out's last trial. We saw before then they were pretty close to actually getting like outs, I would say. They managed to get into a 4K1 position, but they just unfortunately did not have enough gen pressure to secure the final generator. But yeah, in this trial, JD's 4K0 is going to force them to play way, way more aggressive on the generators. So we'll have to see what loyalty can respond to when the survivor side, as JD's win conditioning is pretty good for them. So we'll get that match started for you, and we'll just take a quick, short intermission. Okay, everybody, we just saw Bleedout manage to get a 4K0 result. Now that is a very significant number here on the Assault Bursting place, as against the Deathslinger, it's way easier to get a 4K1 than a 4K0, so managing to pop that final gen is very comparable to getting a 4K0 on Nurse, and it seems like it's going to be on Nia taking this first chase in this topside 4 gen, and they're not even going to bother to try and make it towards the cross, as, yeah, maybe just deciding to go down this corrupt as our survivors try and rotate, but again, this is a 4 gen here on the Azor's resting place. You know, you have this top mid gen, and we even find out Nancy here as well. I don't really know what they're doing there, unfortunately. It's just gonna give away a free tag, and that's, yeah, real problems here for Loyalty. You really needed to try and get a banger first chase here, but unfortunately Nancy's just gonna go down. I wouldn't even be able to make the live either off this Z-Wall, which I'm assuming they were playing off, so that is just not the start you needed for Loyalty. In this 4 gen as well, that is just extremely rough. So, yep, Nancy's going to give away his first pain resonance, and now our survivors have to deal with this problem. How in the hell are you supposed to break this 4 gen when your survivor is hooked right inside it? So, hopefully they do go for some kind of very, very special play, because that's what our survivors need at this point. They need something special to try and take this set, or even just tie this set. Like 4K0, that is no easy feat to accomplish. So JD going to be checking out this 2 area, not really concerned about the 10 side as of yet. Just trying to look for a lockup, but unsuccessful in doing so. And yeah, he's going to be trying to hold the cross a little bit again, but essentially a survivor has infiltrated and stealthed up the map a little bit more. So JD is going to double back, not really knowing where anyone is, and secure this second stage for this time. So no doubt our survivors are diligently working this bottom side generator setup, but they still need to tackle this top side generator setup, as that is the main problem here. That is why JD committed towards the top side. Just look at this, man. So yeah, 2 gens pop in the background, but JD is pretty unfazed. Does put on Nair here. He's going to be injured and potentially might actually go for the... Oh! Pre-shot. JD, this down is going to be also huge. He can drag this back towards the top side, you know, but actually going to decide the slug. I don't really know if that was necessary. I think you could have just picked up, hooked in the generators, and then headed back straight to the hook. But it's not really going to matter, as Nancy is not going to be giving away the For the People. So none of the survivors are going to be giving away the For the People. So yeah, Nancy here is just going to be playing out their last chase, and it's going to be real trouble here for survivors. Nancy's going to get quick scoped by JD. That was beautiful, and Ray is not even going to be able to go for the body block. JD playing for more, taking the slug, knows that nothing insane is in play, and that pickup only just occurred. So our survivors cannot be, you know, popping any generators anytime soon for this death. And yeah, that's it. Nancy's just gone. Filling in for Ultra, I presume, as I guess they had to leave. But yeah, this death 3 gens, even with this reset coming in, it's just so hard to try and tackle this 4 gen setup. And I feel like JD, you know, JD knows this. Absolutely, this is such a prime position to be in when you're only 1 set away from taking the victory. You have such a nice setup. Everything is working in your favor. You just need to be able to play this game out. So it's going to be applying the 2 eruptions on these top-sided gens, and actually push their way towards this 5 area. Maybe baiting rotation. Yeah, I do like this play, just like baiting the rotation towards the top side, but not going to be able to find anyone. Loyalty playing very patiently here. I do like it. That is what you need. Patience is your #1 friend here in the Destinger sets. So probably just going to be waiting up until this generator gets popped. And then once that bottom side generator is popped, then you can go for the aggressive plays to try and make the top side. So there's not really, yeah, I mean, like, JD knows if they overcommit to the bottom side, then there's a really, really good chance for our survivors to break the 4 gen. And that is really what matters. Like, breaking the 4 gen is, they need to pop like 3 generators, right? So two of those generators are required to be finished. So JD now gonna be heading back, trying to catch out anybody here on the top side, but the crows don't really say so. So Oh, maybe we saw Quo reset. Oh, we saw Quo reset at 12. JD is going to be heading towards this. Someone is here. Someone is definitely here. It's up to JD to see if they can find this stealth. If they did, this would be huge. But if they do not, then it gives our survivors even more time to play for the rotation. But JD not going to be able to find a stealthing survivor here around the 12 side. That is really huge for our survivors. Now they can pressure. They can try and stealth their way into this top side area of the map and leave this bottleneck. And even JD knows it. JD knows this. Not even going to bother to hold the cross. Just staying around this middle area of this bottleneck instead. So yeah, now I guess JD is between a little bit of like two a bit of an issue. Like you have this survivor working mid, you can never really pressure them off the generator, as they can always make the bottom side pretty quickly. But then we have the pesky little rat stealthing survivor on the top side, which will just trickle in a couple of percentages here and there and go for the pre-stealth and try and evade the Deathslinger. But it's just enough pressure for JD to not be able to commit for a down on survivors on the middle gen. So yeah, very tough decision for JD. I expect him to commit. He's pretty experienced killer. He knows that he has to commit actually now, but just trying to find the opportunity to do so. So potentially that opportunity will come when this middle generator finishes. But I'll give a topside generator enough time to actually get some percentages in as well. So my advantage is positive, so I don't really know what's going on. So yeah, I mean, now JD's actually going to be committing quite a lot to this tag. So Ace gets the pre-shot in, that's very nice. Takes the free tag, and that's going to force our survivors to go for the reset. It's going to slow them down quite a lot. And it's going to give JD time to look for this topside generator. I think, yeah, I remember there was this post from, I think, Dava, you know, all that chess merchant incident against CM9I and Eternal. I remember, like, one of the comments was like, Skull Merchant is like playing chess or something. But yeah, anyway, that was like one of the top comments, and then Nightlight responded with, I think like checkmate or something. Oh, okay, JD goes to the filter. Someone responded to checkmate. Oh, misses that as well. Okay, that's not optimal for JD. But one of the comments was like checkmate, and then it was really funny. But then I think Dan said like something like this is like Skull Merchant is not chess. Like the killer that is chess is like twins. Like, and the reason why twins, I would say, is because twins on the choke point map extremely similar to Deathslinger on choke point maps, and that's what I'm really reminded of here. Like, you trade off that injury onto Ace for something else, for a chance to catch out a stealthing survivor on the top side, and it seems like, yeah, we are going to be able to down Ada here, but just on the wrong area of the map, and JD knows this and really just wants to head back towards this topside generator setup. Potentially a bit of a mistake, but I really don't think so, because now JD knows that like the two survivors potentially in the top side, and one of them has to be on the bottom side now. So predictable players from the survivors, as they would be the most optimal to cover every scenario that everything that the killer did plan to do. But JD still not going to be able. Oh, sees a bird fly. Okay, I think that bird is way too close for comfort, and yes, Anya is going to get found with a bounce landing. They should not really be able to do anything insane here. JD even wanting to drag them towards the top side. This is a play that you don't see that often, you know, trying to drag the survivor into your 4gen, but I really do like it. You know, it's a very nice play to try and secure down, and Nia's even going to decide to wiggle off, does not want to risk anything, and JD should be able to get this down relatively quickly. But no, Nia actually still has resources here available to them, and JD's gonna still zone them for the top side. As the swing comes through, Nia going for the pre-vault, not being able to, of course, use the bounce landing means this is all 50-50s trying to be played here, and yeah, it's just gonna be so much good time ball. But the pre-vault's gonna come in, JD expecting it, doubling back, will secure the down in this 4gen, and with our survivors just being reset, again, now they're just back to the same situation they were just a minute or two ago. So now, with this, of course, with the hook move, But that was such a crazy thing. Oh no! Ada also getting found on the 12th, getting shot as well as Cigar. Also wanting to try and get value from that is JD, and yeah, I think that might just be Raps here. I don't know. JD just somehow managed to snowball everything so nicely and converted the pressure, found our stealth, and also manages to find Ada, who goes for some nice pre-dodge, but does not have any resources left to work with on this 10 area. So it's just going to be pickable down, and yeah, I know, such good play here from JD. To find, you know, those two stealth, that was huge. But potentially the reset might come in, or some rotation from the near. But here's the thing. Here's why it's a bit like chess. Like, you have one injured, you have one healthy. If you both go rotate to the bottom side to reset, and then the reset happens, JD should realistically know that the reset happened in the bottom side. Because if they reset in the top side and it gets interrupted, then they're screwed. But if they reset on the bottom side and it gets interrupted, then there's a chance. So yeah, now they're not even bothering to reset here. One of them's staying injured. I'm going to assume this is the healthy survivor, but I didn't see blood, so might be a injured survivor. And sorry, I didn't see blood, so yeah, might be injured. But no, it's going to be a STP coming in from Shaoul onto Vey to try and proc the second wind, and that's just going to give JD a juicy target here on the 11 side. The 3-volt also going to be coming through from Shaoul, but it's not going to amount in anything. So yeah, wow. I'm quite impressed that Loyalty's managed to stay in this game, keep the health states going, and JD is just playing by book now, just continuing to drag to this top side hook. But realistically, again, it's up to Loyalty to make the play. It's like, how do they coordinate the save and the save and the generator, such to the point where they don't give away too many health states for JD to capitalize on. You know, already at this point, you give away one health state, that is game over. Essentially, on the healthy survivor, if you give it away, it's not as bad, but still, being able to be heard with your grunts and pain and so on, that is such a big deal. As JD does kind of try and pressure Anya off the generator, trying to bait the unhook on Ace as quickly as possible. We do see they have second win, so hopefully JD does get a shot off here to try and deny that. But at the same time, if Loyalty can indeed get the second win off, that it would be extremely huge for them. But I think with this mind game, and now with the vault coming out, I don't think Shaoul makes the second win in time. They did try and fake the vault, and JD's going to be playing patient, but he swung too late. He swung too late. Shaoul's going to be able to get the light off, play this out, play out the chase for longer, and Nia's generator in the mid side of the map might pop for this. But still, even then, like, even if the generator pops, like, you still need to pop another generator in this 4gen. So yeah, it's just going to be more nightmare cycles for Loyalty. I mean, now they burnt another resource. They burned their second wind to try and get progress on this mid generator and try and end this, but I don't know if it will be enough. As yeah, JD still going to be able to return and apply the eruption. The Shen's only on 50%, even goes for a little bit of a cheeky ADS and M2 fake, but Nia's like way too far away, not going to be possible. As the unhook happens again, I think things are starting to come together for Bleedout. With this, yeah, I mean, this topside 3gen just not being popped is just ridiculous. 10 main and like 11, that is just so dumb to try and fight for if you're the survivors. And yeah, Shaoul now getting found here. Presumably the last chase of the trial for Shaoul, but oh, we do spot out Ada though. Oh, beautiful shot coming in, and Shaoul's going to need that hit tank from Ada to make this, but JD's going to be prioritizing Shaoul here, our death hook, over that. Actually does kind of try and get Nia off the generator first, and even if that gen pops again, they still need to pop another one in this scenario, and it's like one death hook and everyone being hooked once already, that is a tough ask to do. So JD here knows that the end is probably close, even gives a nod. And essentially with this live, the pre-vault coming in, I think that is going to wrap things up, being able to secure this kill unless something crazy happened. But even then, really, this game should this game should be over, right? Surely, but look. Bleedout's gonna come. You can, of course, do something with trying to get somebody out the hatch. That is also another way to gain points and deny the killer points. So that is also an option for Team Loyalty if they wish to go for it, which I think at this point there's no way you can pop this 3-gen unless you do a special tech like the trauma tech, which would force a Bleedout on a survivor. And then the other survivor, of course, is waiting near the hatch. So apart from that, I really do not think Team Loyalty can pop this final generator. So they have to play for some kind of insane play here on the Bleedout. So JD here, going to be scouting the generators again, not finding anyone. Oh, finds our injured survivor. This is whom Loyalty wants to be chased here. You want your healthy survivor to be stealthing. So I'm going to take that down and try and find our healthy survivor as quickly as possible. They might be on the track side of the map playing for the hatch. They could just be around here on the top side. It's impossible to know. JD does not really care which side is. They have enough time to go for the go everywhere to try and look for Nia. So yeah, I guess the timer started 4 minutes on our Ada before they do bleed out as JD scouts everywhere, tries to look for any signs of life. That is not scratch marks. That is not scratch marks. That is indeed a 5-hour instead. So deciding to check edge 4, might find someone here, but realistically, Ada has already been hooked once. So if they bled out, that would already be sufficient enough for a tie, similar to the last trial. But if our Nia is found, then Ray is hooked, then that would be the win for Bleedout. If that hook onto Ray did occur though, okay, hold on, let me put up all the scenarios. If the hook on Ray did occur, and then they close okay. So JD might be able to find Honey here, but I'm not entirely sure because they seem to be on the they're on the other side of the map 4, which JD had just checked. So I don't think JD is going to be able to find this. Let's go through all this now. So Ada bleeds out. That is going to be 2 points lost, and any way that Nia is getting out would be a win for Loyalty. Now the second option is if Ada is hooked. If Ada is hooked, and then Nia finds a way to escape, then Loyalty would win. So pretty much, okay, if Nia escapes, Loyalty wins, no matter what happens to Ada. If Nia is killed, then the only way that Loyalty loses is if Ada is hooked. So realistically, what JD needs to do here is either prevent the Nia from escaping, so i.e. find the Nia, or they need to, stop Ray from bleeding out as well, because they can't find Nia before the bleed out occurs, then the gates and hatch will open. So yeah, JD is going to be spotting out Ada crawling towards the top side, and I think inevitably they'll have to look soon, so we have to see that come into play. But still, Nia staying on this 4 tower, even giving a little bit of a click of a flashlight. I don't know, maybe something happened here, but JD is more interested in this edge map now. Nia could be in danger. Might have seen something here, might have seen something. The dog in JD is sniffing something, but he's not going to be successful yet again. And that's a huge stealth again from Nia. So yeah, I don't know. I guess JD needs to hook now, give himself an extra couple of seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, as Ada dying would take that amount of time because he missed skill checks, to try and look for Nia and make it back to the hatch, of course. But seems like JD's still kind of unawares of where everyone is. Maybe even lost Ada. No, okay, does find out Ada, takes the pick onto her, and Nia's gonna go rotate for the hatchet. Potentially, I don't think they're making the time as this drag is going to be close enough. We'll have to see though, because it is very, very close. So hook's going to occur, and now Nia has to play out this 1v1. Oh, no, they've been found. Alright. This all comes down to the shot landing, or if JD can, of course, body block the hatchet. Now, it seems like Ada is not dying as quickly. Oh, Ada was death hook, so it doesn't even matter if the bleed out occurred. And the hatch is going to be closed by JD. That's going to finish the game. Bleed out is going to take the losers semi-final 2-0 against Loyalty, finishing this up in this best of 3, which turned, of course, into best of 4. Thanks to the Destiny set when extended from the tie. So yeah, well played to Bleedout. I mean, JD, I guess after all this fatigue, still managing to come through with the win. Very good stuff. But yeah, we'll have to see Loyalty later in different season as they've been knocked out. So eventually we are going to get another game. It is scheduled for now. Loyalty and Jinx actually playing in the losers bracket final. So you guys can wait for that. But apart from that, I'm finished up for tonight here. So I've been Tavi, your main caster for tonight, and I will see you later.